Wait, what's going on YouTube? It's Donnie B all day, ready to make something delicious. So I am, as you can tell by the title, this is the best deviled eggs in the world, most likely. So here's the deal. I went out and I got myself 6 free range eggs, some really good eggs, right? And the reason I got this is because I'm making deviled eggs and I needed a way to hold my eggs when I'm done. And this one comes with this guy right here, so I can put the eggs in there. Perfect, right? Because if I don't have this part, then it doesn't really work that well. So what I'm doing is boiling water so I can drop my cheese, so I can drop my eggs in the water. And right now I'm at a hard boil. And what else I need to do is get a pan, and I'm going to slice up a really nice New York strip. This thing, really good quality New York strip. I also have some Mexican cheese. I have some sour cream. And I have some Cabo Fresh guacamole. And all this together is going to make some serious, and I mean serious, really delicious deviled eggs. So stay with me. How's the hair look? Terrible? Good. I'm going to lower some eggs in the pot. And what I like to do is a lot of times I'll use a slotted spoon. Boop, boop, put them in there so that way I can put them in there delicately so I don't crack my eggs. And I'm going to heat up a frying pan because I'm just going to sear the edges of my steak. And I'll show you how that's done in a second. Hold on. All right, so I used little rubber tongs to get the eggs in there perfect. Those will be done in 15 minutes. I took the top off of that egg thing. Look at this. Perfect 12 egg. Now, there's no number that you need to use to make deviled eggs. You don't need to stand them up. I just do that because it's easier and it looks good. But you can use as little or as many as you want. So what's next is I have to cut this steak. I need 12 strips, and they don't want to be really long. So I'm going to cut the steak in half first, and I'll show you. I'm going to do like a 3 to 4 inch slit, and of course I'm using the off-grid chef's knife. This thing is amazing. So what I want to do is, since I need 12, I need to make 6 thin strips from each of these. First thing I'm going to do is cut off the fat. All right, take that square off of there, and I actually have a purpose for the fat, and I'll show you what it's going to be in a second as soon as I cut this off. So as I'm about to cut those into strips, what I'm going to do is I already have my pan, my frying pan, on a medium heat. I'm going to throw these down and let the fat cook on that pan. And while that's doing that, I will cut my strips. So here we go. I have these now. I know I need 6 strips from each, so I should probably, let me cut away this piece. Well, that makes it easier. That thing was just getting in the way. So what I want to do, I have 2 pieces, right? I know I need 6 and 6 because I'm doing 12, right? So I want to look 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to start by going right in half, right? And that's going to make it easier to measure. So now I just need to cut each one of these in thirds. So there's 1, and this is what I want. See how thin that is and how long that is? That's going to be my steak. And let's see right here. So now I have 3 nice strips of steak, and I'm going to do that here, here, and here, so I will have 12 total. All right, so I have 12 really nice strips cut, and I'm going to show you. See this fat right here? You see how I'm getting all that nice juice in there? That's going to help me when I put my steak down to not make it stick. So the fat is just a really good way to grease up your pan without having to use butter and oil and all that jazz. The eggs look good. I've got about 9 more minutes on those. So now what I want to do, now that my fat has gotten my pan exactly how I need it to go, I'm going to take my strips and lay them down, but I'm just going to sear them, right? So that means I have to get rid of some of the fat. I want the fat in there as like a coating on the pan, but I don't want it to float, right? I don't want to saturate my my stuff. So I can get my fat stuff out of there and put that on its own plate. and use that for something else like eating, because it's still really, really freaking delicious. All right, so I'm gonna take those off, and I'm gonna empty some of this grease. Oh, without cooking myself. Perfect. All right, so that's that. And now I'm going to lay down my strips nice and even. I'm telling you guys, if you don't have the off-grid kitchen knife there, that chef's knife, I would highly recommend it. Off-Grid did an amazing, and I mean amazing job on that thing. And it's just one of those things where, can you make a better knife? Maybe. But I'd be excited to find out, because that thing is near unbeatable. It's literally, it's awesome. It's my #1 used kitchen knife. And I have some really, really nice kitchen knives here. But I can't think of anything I would rather use than the Off-Grid. It's just, it's really that good. And they're not here in the background paying me to say that. There's no thumbs up. Nobody put me on a poster for that. It's just what I feel, right? So here we are. I don't want to cook these all the way through. I literally just want to see it. Remember, with steak, there is no such thing as not cooked enough, and there's such thing as cooked way too much. So I literally want to make sure that the ends, the tops and bottoms just look like that. So I'm just doing that on both sides. So it's going to be like a kind of like a well on the outside, but still like a rare on the inside. And what that's going to do is keep the meat super soft for the intended purpose of what we're using it for. And it's completely worth it in the end. So all these are going to get flipped. Then I have some more to throw on here. And you want to serve them at room temperature anyway. So that is going to be perfect. So you can see how well those are just barely browned. That's going to cook the meat enough to not have raw meat, and leave it rare enough to not have overly cooked meat. All right, so that's it. Let me finish this part. All right, so my little strips are done. That's complete. This is really easy. Boil eggs and just really lightly or evenly sear the two sides of some strips of steak. Outside of that, I just have a couple ingredients, and what I do is I'm going to take this bowl and I'm going to put the egg yolks in here after I cut them out. I'm going to mix it with some guacamole, and then I have some cheese and sour cream. It doesn't get much easier than that. Hold on, we'll show you how. All right, so I'm 15 minutes on the eggs, and all that's left to do is cool them off, basically, so I can peel them. So what I'm going to do is just take this little strainer right here, empty all my hot egg water, and then I'm going to massage them in cold water to make it to a point where I can, touch them. Otherwise, I'm going to burn myself in half. So I'm going to cool them down. Now remember, you can over easy your boil, you can medium your boil, you can over hard your boil. It really depends on how you like your yolks for this. I wouldn't recommend an easy boil because it's going to be too runny of a yolk to make the inside of a deviled egg. So go between medium and hard, without a doubt. You don't want to go too hard though, because then they get all chalky. Even though you're adding, normally you'd add mayonnaise, but we're not going to do mayonnaise because we want these to be healthy. So that's why we're doing the guacamole. It's going to make it way better for you. It's just going to be, all it is proteins and healthy fats. That's all this entire meal is. It's really, really good for you. So that's what we're doing. Now it gets to a point where all I have to do is peel. All right, so now with my same knife, I'm going to cut the eggs in half. And remember, go this way, not the long way. Don't be stupid. All right, so all I'm going to do is really gently cut my egg, and then I'm going to massage the yolk a little bit until it starts to fall out. These are actually perfectly cooked. Pat myself on the back right there. But they're really well done. So now I'm just going to get all the yolks out, and once the yolks are all out of these egg halves, I'm just going to stick the halves in there, and then we'll do the mixture. Hold on. Just a little tip for anybody who's trying this. These little rubber spoons are great for scooping out your yolks without breaking your eggs. So get yourself a little rubber spoon. All right, so once all the yolk is out, you see now I have a perfect container for all my little egg halves. Here's my yolk, and all I'm gonna do now is add guacamole. Now here's the deal, there's no measured amount, right? It depends on how many eggs you plan on doing, and even then it just comes down to a couple things. It comes down to how much do you like guacamole, or what do you see when you mix it? Do you see it being as enough? I'm going to take a full scoop of guac, and I'm going to start pounding down on my my yolk and mix it in. And if I think while I'm doing this, I think, okay, that looks like it could use more guac. It's not at the right consistency, and it's got to be like thicker than pudding, right? If it doesn't look right, then I just add more. So you don't want to go too crazy and add a crap ton of guacamole and then all of a sudden need more egg yolk. So it's better to go on the lighter half. Like right now I can tell automatically I could use a little bit of more. It's at a thick consistency, but not enough. So it's still too thick, I should say. So I'm just going to add a little bit of more guac, a little bit of more, and stir it together. So I will show you what it looks like when it's done. All right, so this is what I am looking at right now. I have it at a consistency that I like it in. So I want it nice and thick. You see that big mound? Bloop. It's just right for me. And basically, you have two options. You can take the Mexican cheese and you can mix it in this mix together so you can have it all together in one, or you can put Mexican cheese on top. And I'm going to put Mexican cheese on top. And the only reason is because it looks nicer. But I'm going to show you now. I have to just fill 12 of these guys, right? So I'm going to start scooping. And I don't want to over scoop any because I want to make sure I have enough for all 12. So I'm going to under scoop at first and then do some topping off, right? That's the best way to make sure that you have enough of your mixture, right? So this is what I'm doing, and I'll show you when it's done. All right, so far, these little guys right here are pretty dope. Now, if you really are worried about pretty on that part of it, you can always use one of those cake frosting things and go and make it really nice. I didn't feel the need to because I know it's being covered, so it didn't bother me. So speaking of covered, little dollop of cream cheese is going to be coming, but that's on the top. And right here, we're going to go ahead and take some Mexican cheese, and I get the finely grated stuff, and just sprinkle it on top and cover up some of that yolk. Try not to do what I just did and drop a whole bunch on one. But right there, this is all I'm doing is sprinkling it on across the top. Just to A, it adds a little bit of color, and B, it adds some really good flavor. So now I have guacamole and I have cheese. So there's only 2 ingredients left, and I'll tell you, this is pretty easy. I'm going to take some steak. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one out and eat it and show you guys what it looks like. I just want a good, nice, thin piece of steak. And what I want to do is just layer it across the top. Or maybe I'll dress them all up. I don't know. And a little dollop. I don't know if I'm going to... There we go. I was going to say, I don't know if I was going to be able to do that with this. But there we have it. And when you do a whole bunch of them, it looks really good. I was choking on my own spit. All right, so we got one like that. And a little dollop. What I might do is just finger the dollop since my hands are clean and I'm the one eating them anyway. A little bit of sour cream. It goes a long way, so you don't need to over sour cream it. And these guys right here are going to be immaculate when it comes down to flavor. I do want to have a little bit more than what I put on that one, but I'll show you when they're done. All right, so these are little baby egg miracles. This stuff is awesome. I gotta try and get one out. Good thing to do. Grab a spoon. I don't even know where my spoons are. And what I'm gonna do is just pop under the edge and see if I can't just get one out so I could show you. There we go. Let me try and adjust this camera. Oh man. Oh my god, the mixture is so good. So let's get you under some light. Look at this, man. Look at this. These deviled eggs are divine. You can throw a little pepper on there if you want. Not needed, but you could. Those are super duper good. So, if you normally make a tray of deviled eggs for your friends on holidays and whatnot, make them some of these. Add a little steak. Oh my gosh, add guacamole instead of mayo. Make it where it's a good, healthy, hearty meal. Tons of protein. Tons of protein. But this is awesome. This is awesome. This is awesome. All right, so that's it for this one. That was pretty simple, guys. If you can't do that, well, get the hell out of the kitchen because that was simple. Simple, easy, delicioso, and you can see the tree is going up. All right, that's it for this one. Hi, I'm Donnie B all day. Until next video.